This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, great. Is my screen visible? Just a quick check.
Yes. Yes.
Great, great. Okay. Satish, have you joined the call? Satish? Okay, fine. So I will have a co-speaker. His name is Satish Kedibashi. He'll be joining in along with me shortly. He'll be covering the same in detail along. Okay, so welcome everyone to the special review session about CISM 2022. I know it's now open and like the new syllabus is going to get changed effective from 1st of June, and everybody are curious. Though the topics are completely like over the top and about they have mentioned about the topics. So many of them add one simple question. So Santosh, I still have time to take up the old syllabus. Should I go ahead with the old syllabus or should I stick on to the new syllabus? So that is one of the main important question everybody has. So because the last date for you to take up exam is 31st of May for the old syllabus, and effective 1st of June, you cannot take up the old syllabus and you'll have to stick on to the new syllabus. So that's one important question which we'll be covering. Okay, so before that, let's understand the basics and then probably like move on to the differences and then the final outcome. Which one is best? Should we go ahead and take up the old syllabus or probably wait for the new syllabus to get kick started? Okay, so thank you so much guys, thanks for joining in. I know Saturday evenings are very special and you have a lot of commitments, and in spite of your personal commitment, thanks for making it for this session. I'll ensure that all of your queries, doubts, clarifications are covered, and probably like I'll try to make it more effective and valuable session in this due course. Okay, that's quickly about me. I know I cannot take everybody's introduction, and it's a quick 1 hour of session, so probably it makes more sense to give my introduction. I'll give you a quick introduction about myself. I'm Santosh. I have close to 14 years of experience in cybersecurity consulting. I've done all kind of implementation, including I've done at least 10 to 15 of ISO series, including 27001, 20000, 31000. 22301, including the 27701, 2900, which is into privacy. So security and privacy hand in hand I've done, and I'm a qualified CISM, and I've done all these things. I'll not waste much time over here. I just wanted to add this slide to tell you that you are in safe hands and you're talking to a very good mentor. And I'm on LinkedIn also. I will share a link and everything after some time. Okay, so I do understand that everybody over here do understand what is CISM, why it is required. So I will not go in detail today about what is CISM, what is the difference between the ISACA certifications. I'll just quickly cover the basic ones, and I will give time for everyone to ask your FAQs. First, let me cover the concepts, and probably like we'll have a detailed FAQs if you have anything. Okay, so what is CISM certification? The Certified Information Security Manager certification is one of the gold certifications. This CISM was launched in 2002, and now it's almost 2022. In the span of 20 years, only 48,000 professionals have able to clear CISM across the globe. It's not just India statistics, it is about the entire globe. Only 48,000 professionals, security professionals, have been able to clear CISM certification. That tells the value of CISM. It is one of the most prestigious and respected CISM certification. So if you ask me what are the top 3 certifications which has respect across the globe, irrespective of whichever country company they hire for, the first comes CISSP, the second is CISA, and third is CISM. Okay, so I'll quickly cover these 3 certifications. Suppose which one is best for me, Santosh? Like now I am starting off my career in information security, and I am more convenient in doing audits. I love doing audits. I love writing audit reports. Audit is something where I stand for. Then I would suggest and recommend strongly CISA. Usually CISA people around 1 year to 7 years is where you would look forward to take up CISA. When I tell 1 year, and many of them again ask the questions, Santosh, isn't 5 years? Thank you, Satish. Thanks for joining in. So isn't 5 years the minimum requirement for these ISACA certifications? Yes, if you have to be certified for CISM, you or CISA or any ISACA certification, you need to carry 5 years of relevant IT or IS experience. But to take up exam, you don't need any experience, only to getting certified. The toughest part of the any of these certification is clearing the exam. So I would recommend the earlier you start, earlier you get earlier you pass your CISM exam or CISA, it's good. After you gain 5 years of experience, you can go ahead and apply for certification. Till then, you can always put qualified, a CISM qualified or CISA qualified. Only after you gain 5 years of experience, you can go ahead and tell that you are a CISM certified, CISA certified, or CISM certified. Okay, so suppose if you tell that, Santosh, my plan is not just to do audits, I want to be on the implementation side, and tomorrow, after 3 years, 4 years, I would like to see myself as a CISO for an organization where I have to run the information security, not just stick on to doing audits. I'm more like an implementation, and I would like to have my own team run the information security for organization. Then I would suggest CISM. Okay, CISM is usually taken up by professionals who are looking to elevate their career and who is looking forward for taking up senior roles in information security or cyber security. CISSP is again one of the gold standard which is offered by gold certification which is offered by ISC Square. So you can look in CISSP, but little technical in nature compared to CISA and CISM. CISSP is little technical than these two certifications, and that's the #1 certification in the market. But again, these are all not something, nobody officially announces that, okay, CISSP, like every other survey companies or every other companies will do their survey and produce their results. And in few companies, when they do research, they will tell CISM is on top, and few companies they will tell CISA. But it's all my probably my views is what I'm going to share over here. Like, at least invest time and money in something very respectful certification, rather than taking up some certifications which are not existent or not adding any value. Okay, so these 3 certifications are really good. So plan big, aim big, and the outcome also will be very big. Okay, so if you want to understand much more detailed or much more basics about what is CISM and everything, so I will share my the previous videos links. You can go ahead and look into it. Okay, so now we will not talk much about CISA or CISSP. I would love to take them as an FAQ. Okay, so I have Satish also who has joined. So I would like Satish to give his quick introduction. Satish, are you there?
Yes, Santosh, I'm here, and so thanks for inviting me. And yeah, I think move on. Maybe at the right time when you give me to speak on certain things, maybe I can talk. Yeah, quick introduction. Anyway, I'm very passionate in this domain, and first of all, thanks Santosh for inviting me, and absolutely pleasure to be here and to add some value to the participants.
Great. So thank you so much for making some time and helping many professionals in this group. And I hope everybody will agree with me at the end of the session how valuable this discussion. I would not say it is a webinar or something. I would like to keep it short, and I would like to have this as a discussion hour, so that any of your doubts or concerns you can feel free to share. Okay, so as I told, why do people take up CISM? So if your interest is towards understanding how an organization information security has to work, right from designing and drafting an information security strategy, how converting them into policies, procedures, and standard, and how you conduct a risk assessment, how do you define risk management program for your organization, how you run the information security program. It's overall building brick by brick, Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, Santosh, for me, yes, I can hear you.
I think it's issue with your side. Okay, so from brick by brick, from the scratch, if I have to implement information security and make it success, so CISM is the right certification, and many I don't know for some reason why few of you are not able to hear me. Can you hear me?
Able to hear you,
Yes,
Santosh.
Santosh.
Yes,
Santosh, it's clear.
Yeah, you are audible.
There'll be individual people who have issues. I think you can go ahead.
Okay, so it's I think 2-3 individuals are having issues. Okay, so CISM, if you're passionate about building information security from the brick by brick, this is the best certification. And I have seen in the past many certifications just had theoretical knowledge. And why I am so passionate about CISM is this is one of the first certification which I personally felt which is really meaningful and really practical in nature, and it will definitely elevate. So even if you're not interested to take up CISM certification, my suggestion is please go ahead and read the CISM manual, and definitely there is a lot of changes in your thought process when you are looking at security before CISM and after CISM. Okay, so your thought process, everything will get changed. How you have to think, you cannot think as an individual, you have to always think from a management and from business. So that is the thought process where CISM will help you change, and it's really good certification which I recommend. If you're not interested for certification, my suggestion is at least read the CISM manual, which is very good, and trust me, you will not be disappointed. Okay, so that's quick thing. Okay, so get the right mindset. Except Pankaj, is there anyone else having issues? I don't know why.
Santosh, you can move ahead because I think maybe he has some issues on his end.
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah. You're loud and clear.
Okay,
You don't
Pankaj,
need
I
to...
think it's your bandwidth issues.
Yeah.
Okay, great, fine. So get into the right mindset. Like if you have to clear CISM, like you have to think always business comes first. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear
Hello.
me? Sorry, my bad. Now there is some problem with my net Wi-Fi. Is my voice audible?
I think Santosh, you are breaking in between.
Hello, is my voice audible?
Right. Sometimes you go
Yeah. So
blank.
yeah. Yeah. Now I've changed my Wi-Fi connection.
Voice is not audible.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I changed my Wi-Fi connection now. I think you should not face any issues. I'm recording the session, Pankaj. Don't worry about it. Okay. So what I was trying to tell is, if you have to clear CISM, forget about clearing CISM. If you have to elevate your career in future, the only thing which you have to do is start thinking from a business. And CISM is also designed in such a way that on behalf of business, you are a CISO. Business always comes of an organization, or you are a senior of an organization. You can't think as an individual department or at an individual level. You have to think like how an organization works and what comes first. So business always comes first, and that's how your thought process should change, and it will change. So it is designed for those who manage, design, oversee, and assess an enterprise information security function. Okay, so that's a quick quick introduction about CISM. I'll stop here. Any questions about it before we get on to the study materials, what you require to clear your CISM new syllabus? Any questions over here?
No.
Okay, thank you for the confirmation. Yes. So what's the eligibility criteria? Venkat, it is a minimum of 5 years of experience. I'll talk about it later. Okay. So if you have to pass CISM, if you're planning to clear your CISM exam, these are the study materials which I would recommend. There is a free exam candidate guide which is available on the ISACA website. You can download that, and CISM planning guide is also there. These two guides are free of cost and which can be downloaded for free. And you will have to purchase the CISM review manual 16th edition, and along with that CISM review Q&A, which is 10th edition. These two can be purchased at ISACA website. And there are few free CISM mock questions on ISACA website which you can take it up. And finally, there is a very good CISM exam community on ISACA website, which you can make use of that forum and ask other security professionals on any of your doubts or career paths or anything related to that. Now, one question which I keep getting, Santosh, there are a lot of dumps available in the market. Which is the best site? Which is the best site which I need to consider for dumps? My sincere suggestion, many people have failed in CISM exam, even though they have followed all these things. They have failed in their CISM exam just for taking up CISM dumps, which is available free of cost or by paying outside ISACA. My sincere suggestion to everyone, do not depend or refer any kind of a CISM dump which is available on internet, which is outside ISACA. The reason is their reasoning or their answer might be different, which can change the entire course. So if you're serious about CISM, stick on to the one which is available on ISACA. Anything outside ISACA, I would not recommend at all. Okay, so there is a very good review manual which is Bible for you, and anything over and above to read, it's always good, but review manual is enough if you ask me. There are many books for CISM, but my suggestion is review manual is more than enough for you to study. And along with that, you will have the QAE manual 10th edition, which is yet to be released. As of now, only the 16th edition review manual is released. I think the 10th edition is also released. My bad. Okay, so these two have already been released and ready for purchase, and you can consider buying them. Okay, so these are the things which I would suggest. Any doubts or clarification on this particular slide?
So Santosh, there are some interesting questions which, if you don't mind, I can address that.
Yeah, please. All the questions, if you can address along with the presentation, it'll be really helpful, Satish.
Yeah. So I see an interesting question from Kasturi. People who are not into risk assessments or security audits, basically you are into vulnerability management, can they take up CISM? Kasturi, it's absolutely. So first of all, do not consider vulnerability management as a separate area. Honestly speaking, this is I see this very common thing for many people, like and do not expect risk assessment. It doesn't mean that it's only that Excel sheet or some sort of formulas. No, it's not. So even your vulnerability assessment is part of risk assessment. So fundamentally, the objective of risk assessment is to identify, manage risk, right? So even vulnerability assessment is also part of risk assessment. So I think, Kasturi, your question is absolutely you can take CISM, and if you're already working in the vulnerability management domain, I will appreciate you already know a lot of things. It's only putting the structure, what ISACA is saying, how to manage the overall risk life cycle. I'm sure Kasturi will enjoy it. I hope this answers your point, Kasturi. If you can just type, that will be. You are absolutely. Please go ahead. And there's no need of any background of audits for CISM, because CISM is not. See, first of all, let's agree. Any certification, the purpose of the certification is to learn, as Santosh said, right? It's not about just passing exam. It's about to learn. So it is not essential that you need to be in audits or you need to do risk assessment, then only you can take CISM. That's not the objective. Please go ahead and prepare for CISM. You'll find a lot of complementing things what you're already doing, just putting a structure towards. That's what ISACA does very nicely structured, especially the new edition manual, right, which got revised recently after 4 years. Normally every 4 years the manual gets updated. So I think please follow that, and of course please go ahead. So that's what one I want to answer. Should we try to clear CISM exam with old syllabus, or should we wait and clear the exam? So this is a common question. I think Mushtaq, if I can call you Mushtaq. So there's nothing, say honestly, the 15th edition manual currently which is available, if you already started preparing, please continue. Honestly speaking, the new manual is not completely, it is not that it is completely changed, it is just a slight update. Fundamentally, if you ask me, the crux of the essence of security management will never change, honestly speaking. What ISACA has done, if you look at carefully, the domains also more or less the names are same. It's only the weightage has changed. And maybe at the end or whenever the right time permits, I can talk about why this changes. Or suddenly, I think all of you would have gone to website. Please go to website and see the domain weightage, right? Predominantly, if you look at the last domain, weightage has been increased. I think it's for simple reason, because today we are living in a world of where breaches are constantly happening. So I think fundamentally our nation should improve the resilience mechanism, which is more discussed in chapter 4. And otherwise, primarily all 4 domains are same. Of course, there will be updates to the content. Maybe at the right time when Santosh gives me a chance to, anyway, I know I cannot stop myself, but I can talk clearly what they have really added to, because see, 4 years back, we never heard of these terms called EDR, MDR, XDR and all, right? But today, the world, I think every security practitioner, right? If you go to any organization, they are no more using traditional antivirus, right? They have to move to either EDR or some sort of extensible detection and response. I think those are all covered in the current manual. Otherwise, fundamentally, things are not changed. So please, so if you're taking exam before May, if you plan to take exam before May 31st, or I think that's the date, please continue reading the old manual. If you wish to take exam post May, naturally, it doesn't make sense to refer the old manual. Please refer to the new manual, which is already out there. In fact, I gone through the manual in very detail, and I can talk about what are the changes happened. Not major change, but as I told you, certain changes which are industry is moving. So I think they have to reflect upon those, right? Because today industry is moving in a see, fundamentals of governance, risk management, your program will never change. But there are certain aspects which the industry is evolving, and CISM content also has to evolve. I hope this makes sense to all of you. So yeah, maybe Santosh, carry on, please. Otherwise, I think I should not hijack your flow.
No, Satish. Like, we have a dedicated slide for the changes. What has been, I was waiting to tell that we have the slide, dedicated slide where you can add more more explanation when we come to the slide. So since you told them to refer to the website, I've already done that. So I just wanted to update that. Probably like when I come to that particular slide, you can explain in detail, Satish. So so probably this is what the CISM study materials which I recommend. Okay, so exam passing strategy, many of them have complete doubts that Santosh, this is one of the toughest certification, and probably like what should we do, everything. See, if I have to split the CISM exam into 100%, okay, the first step you have to do is exam voucher. You have to go ahead and purchase an exam voucher. There itself you will win 20%, guys, trust me. I did not want to take up any certification, to be very honest. So 3 years back, Satish, the person who is speaking, forced me to get my credit card, and he booked the exam, and it asked me to buy the certification, and only then, or else I had given him false promises for a period of 10 years. I was like, yes, next year I'll be CISA, next year I'll be CISM. So I used to give him all the false promises, but that day never came. If you're serious about CISM,
you will have to follow this. You have to go ahead and purchase exam voucher. Luckily, I had Satish who threatened me to take up that certification. He took my credit card and he booked the exam. That is why I'm super proud of myself today. And you, not every time Satish can come up to you and do the same thing. So my sincere suggestion is, please go ahead and buy the exam voucher and plan the reverse way. Many people have told that, Santosh, first let me study, and then when I'm comfortable, I will go and take up that exam voucher. Never that day comes. Trust me, if that day comes, I'll give you a standing ovation to you. Next, go ahead and schedule the exam. Okay, so buying is one thing, schedule is second thing. Okay, go ahead and schedule the exam. 40% you are halfway through. By default, that seriousness, commitment, dedication, everything will come up if you do this first two steps. Third is attend training. Definitely, I'm not here to promote my trainings. I do conduct CISM trainings, but I'm not here to promote my trainings over here. The intent is very neutral over here. So why I have recommended attend training is, you will definitely get value of tricks and treats or thumb rules or mind mappings, whatever it is. When you attend an instructor led training, he's going to share his experience. When I teach, I share my 14 years of experience, so that many times they have told that, Santosh, more than the theory, I was able to correlate the example which you had given to me in the class. So like that, it is up to you if you want to attend training, or you can take up self-study. I'm not here to tell that, no, if you take up self-study, you will definitely fail. Nothing as such. If that was the case, I would be a wrong example. I did not take up any training and I cleared with my own self-study. Okay, but CISM is little expensive and little risky. So there is no harm in taking an instructor-led training. Definitely, the trainer is going to add additional value to your entire preparation process. So you can consider attending training. So that will ease many of the concepts. Few concepts in CISM are little tricky to understand by self when you read the manual. So my recommendation is go for training, but not mandatory. Okay, it's just a recommendation. Next, read the complete manual and then solve the Q&A. Trust me, 100% you're ready to clear CISM exam. You follow these simple steps, that's it. I did not refer any dumps. I did not ask you to do. And the timelines, many people ask me, what is the timeline? It is not 6 months, 8 months, 2 months. More than enough for you to do all of these things. Less than 2 months, you can easily clear. Even if you take up the exam voucher and schedule it for 25th of May, definitely if you follow this 5-point step, you can clear your CISM exam easily. Okay, so let's quickly jump onto this. I will talk about the old syllabus and I will ask Satish to cover about new syllabus in detail. Okay, so the old syllabus had predominant prominence for the first two chapter. 54% spoke about the 54% of your questions were coming up from your information security, governance and risk management. And third, information security program development and management. And the fourth chapter is incident management. So it was very simple. The risk management had the highest predominance, and if you're very strong, many of them were very strong in the first two chapters, so they were very happy about it. So you will get approximately around 40, 70, 75 plus questions in the first two chapters, and the rest two chapters had around 69 questions. So this was fairly placed till 2021, the old syllabus. The moment we see this new syllabus drastically reduced for the first two chapters, and they have given lot of importance for incident management, thanks to the zero-day attacks and lot of security breaches are happening, and they saw that this is the right time for us to understand how to manage information security incidents, and that is where they have drastically increased the weightage for these two information security program, and they have reduced the first two chapters probably like 37, and before it was 54. So straight away from 54 to 37. Yes, Venkat. Yes, correct. So from 54 to straight away 37. Okay. So what are the changes? I will ask Satish to do it. But before that, the golden question of the hour, which is best? Okay. Before we get on to the detailed explanation about what is new changes in this, which is best? I've got an opportunity to go through the old syllabus multiple times and new syllabus on a high level. What I felt is, you will have to choose old syllabus for 2 reasons, okay, and new syllabus for 2 reasons. Given a chance, okay, if your timeline is very short, many of them come to me and say that Santosh, I have to complete within Q2. That is the target set by my company, or I need to take up the CISM certification. Then pretty straightforward. Go for CISM exam 2021 syllabus and go get cleared. Second, I would recommend old syllabus if you are very strong in risk management and information security governance. Santosh, somewhere I'm not so strong in incident management. My interest or my plus point is predominantly in information security governance and information risk management. I would suggest old syllabus. But if you are from SOC or any other domain, and if you're strong, if you're weak in risk management, risk is something I can't even understand, then I would suggest you to take up for the old syllabus. Okay, now the next point, which one I should take? Still, somewhere I feel you should go for old syllabus and knock it off, because though, as Satish rightly said, there are not much changes in the new syllabus. The weightage has changed. Satish will definitely explain you what are the different things which has come up. Somewhere I feel old syllabus is good at this point in time. Why? We don't know what type of questions might come in your new syllabus. Still, it is untested. Nobody in the world can tell this is what the type of questions which might come in your new syllabus. So if you're planning for June 10th, okay, then neither me or Satish or anybody can tell these are the type of questions which might come. It's new syllabus, nobody knows about it, so it is still untested. So probably, like, if you do not want to be part of the experiment, and if you are okay to wait till July or August, then I would suggest go ahead and take up the new syllabus. Suppose if your timelines are very short, Santosh, I'm looking for somewhere between me or something, so it's tested. Everybody knows what type of question, how many questions will come from each chapter, what are the key topics. So everybody knows about it. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it and you can go for it. Okay, now, when do you recommend new syllabus? Okay, so what I really liked in new syllabus, to be very honest, is the structure. To be very honest, I did not feel the old syllabus structure is really great. To be very honest, multiple topics were getting repeated in the first chapter, second chapter, third chapter. The same topic you will have to read, and it was very vaguely placed. But the new syllabus, perfectly structured, very neatly structured. You will not find any one topic getting repeated or duplicated. So that's one thing which I really liked in the new syllabus. Apart from that, even though you study old syllabus, the topics might be repeated, but from a structuring standpoint, the new syllabus stands out for sure. The way the topics are structured, without any topics getting repetitive, and they have removed certain topics which are not adding any value to the current context. So probably, like, new syllabus is where you can consider. If that is the case, as I said, if you're not so strong in risk management and governance, I would suggest you to wait for the new syllabus, because you will get majority 95 questions from third and fourth, okay, and third and fourth chapter, and only 55 questions from the first 2 chapters. So it depends which one you want to choose. If your timeline is very short, my sincere suggestion, go for old syllabus. And if your timeline is okay, then probably go for the new syllabus. I'll take a pause over here. I will request Satish to speak about the new syllabus little more detailed.
Thanks, Santosh. So what I'll do, so I think first let's don't call old and new syllabus. I think it's basically, so honestly, whatever Santosh said is absolutely valid, but very soon, whatever, see, the whole ISACA, if you look at the model, what they do, because see, we are living in a world where things are very dynamic, right? Things are changing. Like overall, if you look at risk landscape is changing, threat landscape is changing, everything is changing. So I think to make it current, ISACA, what they do, they just update. It's not that there's a major update, but every 4 years there's a model where the new. So I think that's what I think as Santosh said rightly, if you are already started preparation and you're halfway through, or you're very clear on your goals and you want to finish exam, I think please go ahead. Because see, one more thing, lighter note is when I say lighter note, all the current 15th edition manual and 9th edition Q&A are extensively available everywhere, but maybe it will take some time for you to order or get the new materials, or to get access to the new material. It may take some time, and you have to again go back and ideally, if you're taking exam, if your plan is a little long term, just go with the new one. Otherwise, just go with the old one. I'll not call the fundamentally the content is same. As Santosh said, exam point of view, the number of questions, I think more number of questions will start appearing from chapter 3 and 4, that is domain 3 and 4. Predominantly, now let me wear a CISO hat, because I being a CISO, and I want to just add 5 minutes context of why this change. I'm sure most of you agree, right? With all these enterprises, whether small, medium, large, especially large enterprise, who have all this great governance structure in place, they've done enough risk management. But in spite of that, I'm sure all of you agree, right? Thanks to COVID and many other, I can say as we speak, right? If you look at the crisis of Russia-Ukraine crisis or whatever, right? So I think the overall landscape has changed. The threat landscape has changed. And predominantly the whole dynamics of cyber has changed. It has become much more. In fact, while we go back and say it's no more a IT problem, right? It's a business problem, and in spite of enterprises have all this great governance structure, they've done enough risk management. Most of the organizations will take this ISO 27001 or referring back to some NIST framework. All that is great, but in spite of that, do you agree? How many of you agree? Can you all type in the chat window? Agree that in spite of all that, right? A lot of our enterprises saw various challenges, issues. They got breached. Now, if I can name few of them, it is not that Cognizant is a small company, right? It's very large, but they had a major ransomware attack, right? Go back to the early WannaCry. Maersk Shipping had one of the devastating. So the point is, I think finally, slowly today, enterprises, equally the CISOs are realizing that what have you done great, but then we have to be prepared for unforeseen, right? I think disruptions. Now, COVID is a great classic example. Many CISOs, right, started CIO, CISO started working together, how they can enable workforce from all this hybrid model, right? I think a lot of cloud adoption started happening, right? Do you agree, all of you? Like cloud adoption is at its peak because, or suddenly, I'm sure most of you know, right? The digital transformation journey of many enterprises. It is not that many organizations had some plan, roadmap, but it got speeded up. Suddenly, COVID, right, especially taught us lessons that, oh, people cannot go back to office, right? So while one side we had this big program, lot of perimeter controls, we have put a lot of these controls at the enterprise level, but suddenly people started working from home. The dynamics have changed, the business model has changed, and equally the bad guys, adversaries, attackers, right, started, of course, because they are much smarter, and their modus operandi has changed. They started targeting, in fact, people working from home. I think the overall dynamics has changed. Now, with this change in dynamics, what typically a CISO can do? Now, while of course we can adopt all the new technologies, new strategies, like whether it's zero trust or what do you call, when I say zero trust, or basically trust and verify, or all that, what I think a lot of companies started suddenly, I'm sure you agree, right? They're strengthening the endpoint security. I think suddenly, if I can use the word, the focus has shifted from workplace security to workforce security. How many of you agree? Earlier it was workplace security. Now it is not workplace, it is workforce. As the workforce keeps going, I think that's the fundamentally the shift has happened. And the coming back to the domains wise, so the program, probably whatever program you establish yourself, need to be revisited, and whatever you've done, probably you need to go back and revisit your risks, and also be prepared for those unforeseen cyber attack or cyber intrusion. So the point fundamentally is, today CISOs are acknowledging fact that, okay, if I'm not breached, tomorrow I'll be breached. So an incident is bound to happen. I think the first thing it starts that the CISOs or the management or the board is now acknowledging the fact that, if, see, honestly, I normally call, when I speak in the large forums, I say there are only two types of organizations. One organization who has already got breached, and they acknowledge fact that, okay, fine, something went wrong, we need to strengthen our controls and be prepared. And there is second type of organization who does not know that they've breached yet, because they never invested in detection capability, nor they've invested in improving the defenses or response. That's where incident response domain is becoming a key. Now that is, I think that is reflecting very clearly. Now, see ISACA again in the next 3-4 years, maybe once things go back to normal and all things may get restructured. So now ISACA feels that there's a lot of stress on today. Fundamentally, while the CISO, CIO, information security organizations have been working on protection and prevention, but they also need to focus on early detection and early response. Means an incident is bound to happen. How can I improve my technology resilience? Because today businesses are based upon technology. So if my technology resilience fails, my business resilience fails. You know, your business is not resilient to come back to normalcy. Imagine you had a DDoS attack or a advanced persistent threat attack or a targeted malware attack. So I think that is where, so I think the examination is now basically talking more about, while it doesn't say that governance risk management is not important anymore, because I think enterprise already realized that, yeah, I think if you look at a large enterprise, they already spend a lot of time, efforts in improving their governance, risk management. But in spite of that, our CISOs, our CIOs, is board confident? You ask, I think there are a lot of surveys. No board, no management in the world is confident that they have done enough. They say that, so we have done what we know, but we don't know what we can be targeted. Now that unknown, so let's be prepared for unknown. That is what is the stress of the last domain. So when we say incident management, don't just go by the word incident management. It's all about how do we prepare, how do we respond. Today, I'm sure most of you know, right? First of all, to fundamentally understand incidents type bound to happen and ensure that you have early detection capability. I use a term called dwell time, very, very important. How can I reduce the dwell time? Because attackers are very smarter. They come into the organization, stay silent, stay persistent. So I think fundamentally the point today, the way industries, I think we have seen, right? Last 2 years, we saw a lot of challenging times. There is no organization in the world which is immune from cyber attack or cyber intrusion or some sort of something happened for every organization. You know, okay, it's all depends on how lucky they were or how early they could detect or they could respond, they could prepare. But honestly, there's no organization in the world which is immune, including the best of the defense organizations we saw, right, which also got compromised. So the point is, in that context is what the whole updates. And then I told you I don't want to get in detail, like the world is changing today, a lot of cloud adoption, and the controls also need to change as the landscape is changing. You cannot see, the point is you cannot use the same old control, right? Can I use the same old what my 1980s or 2000 antivirus solution? I'm not naming anyone, but I'm not saying antivirus is, but the traditional antivirus is not sufficient for today to look at any targeted malware, because today malware is written specifically for the enterprise. We saw, all of us saw it, the Swift attack of Bangladesh Bank was a very clear targeted. Today there are APT groups who are working in a collaborative manner, write malware, write scripts, they very clearly. So in that you need sophistication, and thanks to today a lot of data, AI, ML based solutions. So today I think the industry is now, every CISO is now trying to see how they can improve the defenses, traditional. And see, I think all of you would have heard this term called next gen. I know it's a very abusive term. Har jagah next gen, you can put next gen in everywhere. Next gen firewall, next gen antivirus, next gen SOC, next gen SIEM. The next generation is what? You cannot use a traditional solution and say, I will stop next generation threats. You cannot stop. So you have to, so in that context is where they have updated. And equally, there are certain other updates, like your earlier manual was referring COBIT 5. I'm sure most of you know ISACA updated COBIT in 2019. And okay, you may say that, see, fundamentally COBIT framework has not changed. The principles are same, the enablers are same, but yeah, they have made it little flexible, little open. How many of you have seen the COBIT 5 versus 2019? they started stressing, they're not talking anymore IT, they're calling INT. I don't know how many of you noticed that, because the moment we say IT, what comes in mind? Laptop, desktop, server. We are too much busy in technology. Actually speaking, it is information and technology. Today, information is core. Sometimes as a CISO, when I go and talk in a lot of forums, I say, oh, you put overwhelming controls, but what are you trying to achieve? Then suddenly people start scratching heads. Yeah, I agree. We're very true. We have put so many layers of defenses, but fundamentally you're trying to protect the information data, which is key for every enterprise which they today are focusing upon, right? Data security, information security. But today information data is supported by technology. So if you look at the new COVID 2019, traditionally it was called enterprise IT framework. We call it as enterprise INT. It is no more just IT, because the moment we say IT, who comes in mind? The traditional IT guy sitting in the corner, the technology guy? No, today it's a CIO role. So enterprise IT is a CIO role, trying to align back your security technology back to the business. So there's a lot, I think it's beyond IT, if I can use the word beyond IT, and thanks to a lot of integration between what you call your IT and OT. So I think all that is reflecting upon COVID 2019, which the new manual also refers back. So when the old manual is published, it was COVID 5. I'm not saying COVID 5 is bad, or see, frameworks don't retire. My favorite statement is frameworks, they always exist. You adopt and adapt. Frameworks don't expire. You can, there are still, Dubai government is still running on COVID 5, Oman is running on COVID 5, Infosys, I believe, still running on COVID 5. That's great. But the COVID 2019 tries to make it a little open, a little broad. So naturally the new manual is aligned back to. So the point is, if someone is saying, okay, I'm reading old manual, what will I get if I read new manual? Nothing grossly new, but all these changes has been incorporated into the new manual. So I think people who are already studying old manual, please go ahead, as Santosh said, because anyway, because what do you call, if I can say, anyway, there's a method to the madness, and Santosh has mastered it, and he can guide you and how to crack the exam. And because it's, but the new exam, don't expect that it will be completely very different. Yeah, of course, the new Q&A manual is very good. In fact, I've gone through as I speak, because if I'm speaking with authority, I've gone through the 16th edition manual. I'm very passionate. I also gone through the 10th, the new edition Q&A manual, which is right in front of me, and I've gone through both of them. And of course, see, fundamentally, it's only the number of questions which will appear more, but do not worry. So just, but my only request is move on. Means do not procrastinate. I love this word. People have this, oh, let me wait for the see, when ISO 27002 got just revised, people start pinging me, Satish, I was about to do an ISO lead auditor course. Shall I wait? I will, don't wait, because your success should not be, so don't wait for your success, just move on. See, it is not that ISO 27001, the new standard, is going to be grossly different. No, fundamentally your PDCA will remain same, risk base will remain same. So similar way, for me, CISM, it is not old and new, it is just the update which is expected every 4 years. ISACA is aligned back to COVID 2019, and whatever is spoken just now, the changes in the enterprise landscape, risk landscape is changing. So they are emphasizing more on what I just now spoken, because CISOs are no more can live in the laurels what they did for last 10 years. They have to move on. They have to rethink their strategy. Do you all agree? Because of work from home, every CISO, CIO started thinking how can they leverage cloud, whether it's a public cloud, VDI, and whatnot. I think so. That's my only thing. Otherwise, I'll keep talking. I'm very passionate in this domain. So Santosh, sorry for that. But I hope I added some value to participants who are joining here to listen. What are the changes? Fundamentally, not major change, but I told you some domains, of course, like see, a lot of things have changed in the industry. So they're aligned back to the changes happened in the industry. And then, of course, the last domain, much more emphasis has been given for the simple reason because of the increased number of, in fact, cyber breaches or compromises happening, which definitely organizations should focus more on how can they improve their defenses or early detection, early response. Like I'm sure most of you know, right? Your SOC, your SIM is no more just SIM, right? Today, your SIM has to extend back to do, I'm sure most of you heard of SOAR, right? Your security automation, orchestration, all those are becoming, sometimes it may look like a buzzwords. I sometimes feel these are all SOAR, or all this. I'm sure most of you heard of this UEBA. These are all fundamentally problems what we're trying to solve with the changing threats and risks. That's what you have to keep in mind. And they have aligned back, and that's the only change. Fundamentally, CISM has not changed. You whether read old, if you finished reading the old and you want to clear the exam, please go ahead. And people have not started yet. No pointing now getting access to the old manual, because it will take some time. So anyway, I know Santosh has got a magic to. So if you're joining training, you want to, if you keep a target of 1 month, 2 months, please go to 15th edition. I'm sure Santosh has already cracked the formula of you making you success. I'm sure his trainings are great and he's doing a great job. And so first of all, thanks Santosh, what you do. As a community, we all are helping people to really make their careers progress. I think that's what I believe. I'm here. I request Santosh that please invite me, because I would like to give clarity, because I spend enough time in this domain. I hope I gave clarity to all of you on what to be done. Rest over to you, Santosh, and thanks for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to talk to your tribe or your community.
Thank you, Satish. So it won't be wrong if I call father of information security Satish Kedibashi. Yes, tremendous knowledge, and definitely if you talk to him related to finance or something else, he will not show any interesting discussion. He will not have any interesting discussions. But the moment you pick up information security, he can talk 1 day long. Even I would fall short of words, but Satish is one such person where it is very rare to find somebody like him. And if you are fortunate enough and if he's agreed to mentor you, then there is nothing you might not be lucky than anybody else. So I was one of them who have been mentored by Satish, and definitely I would tell my success and my mentees. I have been able to help many mentees clear CSM exam in the first attempt. So I would all contribute this success, including my mentee success, to Satish. And thank you so much, Satish. It is definitely good to have you in all of the meetings. So I think, Satish, I would request you to share your LinkedIn profile. I'll share my LinkedIn profile quickly after this session. Okay. So I think we have another. We are already 8 o'clock. The session was planned for 7 to 8. Let me quickly cover the new syllabus, and probably Satish, you can pitch in if there is something which you need to add on to the topics whichever which we will yeah, I'll take up all the questions. So this is what one thing which I liked in the new syllabus, the revised structure. They have very clearly told about the first. A is going to be talking about enterprise governance, and B is about information security strategy. In the old syllabus, it was a mix and match. Sometimes you talk about governance, sometimes you talk about strategy. So first, understand that business goals and objectives will come first, and then the senior management will come in, and the business requirements are captured, and then to support the business goals and objective, you come in with your information security goals and objectives. It is not the other way. You cannot tell that first I will define the information security goals and objectives, and then I would define the business goals and objectives. No, you're here to support them. So the moment you do not support them, you're not irrelevant, you're irrelevant to the organization. So all I can say is, so at any point in time, any of your information security activities, whatever you do, should definitely be aligned and be supportive of what business is trying to do. So if you're trying to do something outside what the business requirements or business needs, business ask, and if you tell that I'm a seasoned CISO, I don't have to study about what the business is, what the business goals and objective, I know how to protect the organization, I will straight away jump into implementation, you're the poorest form of CISO anytime. So any point in time, CISM tells you very clearly, first, as a CISO, you need to understand the context of the organization, try to understand what the business is and what the business is trying to go and where they are heading, and support them parallelly. Do not go in a different direction. Definitely you will have to align with the business. So that clarity has been clearly given in the first chapter. In the second chapter, very again, here also they talk about information security risk assessment, how you need identify the risk to your how do you identify applicable risk to your organization, and you do assessment of those risks. So firstly, if there are 10,000 risks in the market, not everything will be applicable to you. So there might be risk related to BYOD, but if you implement controls related to BYOD, bring your own device, where your organization provides laptops and professionals are not asked to bring their own laptops, then why are you implementing BYOD program? So as a first step, if you're trying to implement something related to risk assessment, first identify applicable risk to your organization and then do the assessment of those risks, because not all out of 10,000 risks, that there might be only 100 applicable risks. Now all these 100 applicable risks might not carry the same weightage or same priority or same impact, so I need to evaluate them. I have to I have to do the analysis and then evaluate them whether it is above my risk appetite or below my risk appetite. That completes your portion A, information security assessment. I am now with the list of risks which can tell me very clearly these are the risks which are above my risk appetite and these are my risk above my lesser than my risk appetite. So now the one which are above my risk appetite will go into the risk response. So that is where I talk about risk treatment and what are the risk response options. You can look into it, and then who will be owning that particular risk and how the controls will be implemented to mitigate those risks which are above your risk appetite. And then you will, once that is done, you will have to constantly do the monitoring of risk and monitoring of controls, because control degrade over a period of time. So you will have to start monitoring the risk and control. You cannot tell that, Santosh, we did a risk assessment 3 years back and I'm sure that the same controls will exist and the same controls are strong enough. No, risk needs to be evaluated and the controls needs to be evaluated on a periodic basis. So you might have implemented all the controls for the information security risk for your employees when they are working from home. Now all of a sudden the context changed because of pandemic. Now they are working from home. So now the older risk assessment needs to be revised to check that, okay, whether those risks arising from the work from home options are being taken care, whether the existing controls needs to be modified or should be improved. So that kind of risk monitoring and reporting should be taken care. That's information security governance and information security risk management. So that is what these task statements. I'll not go into task statements in the manual. These are the there are two things which you will find: task statement and knowledge statements. Task statements are the one, as a CISO, what all tasks you need to do, and knowledge statements are those statements which will tell what knowledge do you need to carry or you need to possess to carry out these tasks. Okay, so these are the things which you will have to do as a CISO. I will not take up this. This is something a little more detailed one. Yeah, the third part is your information security program. So here also there is a very clear segregation. I can tell before and after. Okay, so information security program development, what you need to do, what all people, process, technology you need to implement, because if I'm running an information security program which is an execution of your information security strategy, which is an output, like you have a strategy document, information security strategy document, you would have kept it in a Word document or a printout. Putting them into action or putting them into execution is what your information security program. So here I try to derive the information security program policies, procedure, guideline, and program metrics. All these are the development phase. Next, in the program management, this is where the control design selection, how the controls are designed, how the controls are selected, how the controls are tested and evaluated, and information security awareness training is provided. Management of external services. One of the biggest headache for any CISO is how you manage your external suppliers, third-party service provider. You can implement all the best security controls in your organization, but if one of your key sensitive department and so a few of their services which has sensitive information to a vendor who does not even have a security policy, then it's just like a hole in your ship. Your ship has everything. It has metal body or whatever, the fabrication is really good, but somebody, one of the person will go and put a hole into your ship, then every other effort, whatever you put to build a ship, a foolproof ship, goes into water. So that's where we speak about management of external services. And then again, it is very important for having a communication and reporting. That's what the third chapter is all about. And the fourth chapter as Satish beautifully explained, you cannot find better explanation than that about incident management, how you will be prepared for an information security incident. That's where A talks about incident management readiness, and incident management operation is A is more of readiness, keeping yourself ready for the war, and incident management operation is all about if there is an incident or ongoing reporting, ongoing management of incidents, the one which has already been detected, how you would report it, how do you notify it, how do you escalate it. That's what it is. So that is where I was coming from. Like, I can see clear segregation between before and after, readiness and operations, development and operations, development and maintenance. Like this, they are very beautifully structured. Structuring wise, I can say that in the old syllabus, BIA got repeated in second chapter, third chapter, fourth chapter, which we talk about BCP multiple times in the same thing. Here, very clearly, they are spoken only in incident management, so you don't have to worry about those duplication of topics. It is not really a painful or really disturbing, but the structuring wise, the new syllabus stands out really good. Okay, so in the incident management, we talk about how you have to be prepared for an incident, how you have to do, why it is important for you to do a business impact analysis, because if you do not do a business impact analysis and tomorrow if there is any disaster, definitely you will not be able to face a disaster. So you'll have to restore your operations, restore applications, restore critical assets. And if you have 1,000 servers, which server you'll go ahead and restore it? It is definitely not possible for you to restore all the 1,000 servers. Definitely you need to have some kind of a prioritization. That is where your BIA, business impact assessment, comes into picture. And then if you have to have a business if there is a disaster, you need to plan about business continuity and DRP. And then we talk about incident classification and management. So these are the few topics which have been as same as what Satish told. The structure wise it might have changed, the weightage wise it might have changed, but predominantly I don't see much of changes in the old and new. So the choice is yours, whichever syllabus you take. Go with my suggestion. If it is a short notice and if you are not well prepared, if you have personal commitments, I would suggest you to go for new syllabus post July, not in June, because June is too early for you to take up the exam. This is my personal recommendation. And if you think that no, I want to go with the old syllabus, I'm very strong in risk management and governance, let me go ahead and try my luck over there, then old syllabus is the best. That's all I wanted to say. This is a CISM design structure. I have already covered this in my one of the old video. So I will stop here, and now I will, it's already 8:10. I will open the forum for questions. You can shoot them to me or Satish. If it is related to training, I can provide the details.
Sir Santosh Avdesh here. Good evening.
Yep.
So am I
Yes,
audible?
please. Yes.
So can you elaborate? Yeah, can you please elaborate more on the training part, the fees, the sessions, the duration, all those things?
Okay, so to be very honest, the fees and everything I will discuss offline. Do not worry about
Mm-hmm.
it. I wanted to keep it neutral. I did not do this session, or Satish also did not come up for this session to promote my training for sure. I wanted to help the community, as Satish rightly said, the word which is really good, madness. I am very mad about CSM, and that's why I wanted to be the first person to share the changes and which is best. And if you're really interested about trainings, I will share my contact number. You can ping me on WhatsApp, and I will keep this session away from training. And probably I can have it one-to-one discussions and give you more details about the training of this session.
Yeah, cool. No worries. Thank you.
I've pinged my contact number on the group chat. You can
Okay.
ping me separately, and I'll be more than happy to assist you on that.
Sure. No worries. Thank you.
So Santosh, someone is asking when will you start the new syllabus training? Naturally, of course, I think your next batch is going to be the new only, right? Means I think someone is asking about that. So I think this is going to be the last batch Santosh may be covering on the old one, and naturally the next batch I'm sure he's going to cover the new one only.
Yes, post June I will be doing. I have one last batch for old syllabus that is starting from March 28th. If you're interested, probably you can reach out to me personally one-to-one. I'll be happy to give you more details about what will be covered. And I have prepared a few documents on my own, which is not available on Google. I've created some visuals, like it's called mind mapping documents, which will be very easy for you to understand and grasp certain concepts in an easier way. So all those things will be available to you when you opt for my training. So that's one thing. So I'll be very interested if you have any questions related to the CSM. Please make use of Satish also. Anything related to training, you can ping me offline, and anything related to CSM we can discuss now. If not, we'll end the session. We're already 15 minutes away.
I was just looking at the chat. Akash Kumar, you asked a question. Do we require any cyber security knowledge prior to CISM? No, not required. See, Akash and rest all, the purpose of this, whether it is CISM or CISA or any of this, right? It's basically to learn, right? I think when you read the CISM manual, naturally you are getting the knowledge of that. But I think a little bit of IT knowledge is required. Not expected that you need to be already aware of cyber security, but if you already know it, things can be faster. But otherwise, I say as such, ISACA, all the examinations, whether CISA, CISM, CRISC, they don't put anything called prerequisites. There is nothing called prerequisite. Any person can just get access to the manual, start preparing, start reading. And my request to all of you, don't read the manual or attend training just for the sake of passing exam. Exam is I call it as exam is a byproduct. Exam automatically will pass. I think, and what Santosh has been telling, see, the other part is training. Now, honestly, training may not look mandatory, but the whole point is probably what Santosh has spent 6 months, and I think basically if you attend this training, you're learning that in a faster way, and which probably you have to spend your own 6 months time in researching all what he has done research. I think the whole purpose of any training, coaching, mentoring is, someone who has already spent time and is making it easy for you. And that's the only purpose. But my request to all of you, when you read the manual, please read as if basically the whole purpose is you're gaining knowledge. And please understand it's a knowledge-based exam. Only your knowledge will help you to clear the exam. There's no other shortcuts. So my request to, honestly, there's no prerequisites as such. But if you're already working in IT domain, you can straightway get into this. This CISM, get access to the manual and start reading and start preparing. I'm sure it will be going to be a great journey. So Akash Kumar, I'm more into endpoint security, data protection. Then absolutely you're already into cyber security, Akash, So now, you're already doing that. Even if you don't do that, idea is to, and so I again repeat, Akash, you're telling not into auditing. CISM is not a auditing certification. Why are you worried about audit? CISM is talking about how to, basically it's a risk and control certification. CISM is a risk and control certification aligned more towards the CIO, CISO office. So don't worry, you already have enough experience, Akash, please go ahead. Prasanjit, if anyone would take exam with old syllabus after the new syllabus is rolled out, would we get that from ISACA as well? Now, I don't know what do you expect, Prasanjit. ISACA does not provide you anything. Of course, whatever is there in the website means you are free to use that. So I think already ISACA means I don't know, Prasanjit, if you can unmute and ask a question, but already new syllabus is rolled out, Prasanjit. Manual is out. I told you I already read the manual because we have to be much ahead of before people ask this question. So Prasanjit, the new manual is already rolled out, and it is your choice whether you want to read the old one. If you're planning exam before May 31st, old one. Planning exam, I think we spoken already. But don't worry, see, implementation, there's nothing, no change. See, this is the exam point of view, they're updating. I think, Prasanjit, you didn't hear me properly. I told you they have to update because they have to align back to COVID 2019 and, the new things and all, they've updated, but it does not mean that organizations there's no fundamental change in the overall body of knowledge, Prasenjit. I hope I answered your point. You can still unmute and ask me if you still have. So it's up to you whether you want to take new or new is already rolled out. Not it's already rolled out. Okay, so how many days exam valid once after completion? It is 5 years, I think, Hemant. From date of passing exam, you have 5 years to apply for certification. I think that's what I hope you, Hemant, you expect to ask the question. Once you finish your examination, you pass the examination, ISACA gives you 5 years time to apply for certification, demonstrating your, means you have to just fill the application form before 5 years to get certified. I hope, Hemant, that was, I saw a message in private from Prasad. I'm into infra project management. I hope that I can take up CISM. Absolutely, Prasad, please go ahead. Now, I told you, many IT people only progress because you spend a lot of time in IT. Honestly, IT also, you're doing a lot of security work. You're doing patching, you're doing hardening, you're managing endpoint. So many people from IT progress towards information security. Yeah, Santosh, I think what are questions I could see, I mostly clarified. What version of manual has to be referred for old? I think Aruma, you're again asking same question. 15th edition is the old, 16th is new. If you're taking exam before 31st May, it is 15th edition. Armugam, I hope it's clear. Post June, you have to refer to 16th edition. Now, Kishore, PMP versus CISM, which is better? That is very, it is like you're comparing two different disparate certifications, Kishore. I think you cannot compare PMP versus CISM. It's like comparing apple versus orange, right? So PMP is project management. With PMP, I can compare Prince2 because Prince2 is project management. PMP versus Prince2 makes sense for me. PMP is project management. CISM is information security. Now both, with CISM, you can become an information security manager. With PMP, you can become a program manager, project manager, a generalist project manager. That is PMP. I hope, Kishore, that clarifies. Does CISM specifically aim at management of risk into information security? Precisely, Kishore. CISM certification is aligned to support the CISO office. Now, PMP talks purely project management. You can use PMP knowledge for even construction, building, dam, any project you can manage projects efficiently by doing PMP or Prince2. Thanks, Kishore. Yeah, I'm happy for the comments. Yeah, any more questions? Please feel free so I can clarify. It's not, and don't restrict for CISM only. See, the whole idea of I'm here just to provide you clarity, and a lot of people get confused. Exam guide, manual, both required to read. Exam guide is nothing but exam guide talks about the process of examination, Venkat. That's free to download. Go and download exam candidate guide. But anyway, that's nothing to read. You don't need to. It's exam guide is just hardly 20 pages. Talks about the process of examination. But the CISM review manual, what we have been talking since beginning, that is the body of knowledge what you have to refer to pass the examination. I hope that clears, Venkat. Candidate exam guide is different and review manual is different, Venkat. They both are not same. Candidate guide is available freely on the website, and manual you have to purchase from the bookstore. Great. I think looks like no more questions, so we are done for the day. Or if still someone want to unmute, and please you want to still I'm can you go on mute? Someone has to go on mute. Would you support
can you hear me?
the exam? I think AJ, I think that's what Santosh, I think Santosh, that question for you. Definitely he'll be supporting till you pass the exam. Definitely, no doubt. That's the whole objective of this mentoring training what Santosh is doing. Yeah, someone is unmuted. Please go ahead, speak.
Hey Satish, greetings and thank you for sharing these information. The session was really very informative. I have one question and maybe it could be a very silly one, but just wanted to ask. So I have a, I belongs to a developer background, and now I just wanted to move to a different role. So I thought of, getting for the certification. So I thought like before, again, as Santosh mentioned, like new syllabus would be untested. So I thought I'll go for the old syllabus only, and I have completed like 2 domains, and I'm going through the third domain. But if I talk about the manual which we have, so I find this manual like very theoretical, and it's sometimes it gets very tough to understand some of the topic. Again, as I said, I belong to a, like I have a developer background. I more work toward like technical things and stuff, right? So what do you suggest, like how can we make most use of the manual, or like what should, like what can I
So
do to?
I got a point. I got a point, and this is a very
Okay,
common
okay.
problem everyone has. Don't worry, you're not the only one. First of all, see, this is a little. Uh, I don't want to use the word managerial, but this is more towards management, managing information security. A simple example: you're a developer. Let me ask a simple question. You're a developer, right? You're writing code,
Right.
but then while writing code, now I think fundamentally somewhere, right, you have to understand. So we are talking information security. So I think I'm sure you heard of this terms called shift left, right? Having I can ensure that the developers understand OS top 10, or fundamentally in SDLC you have to
Right.
embed security at an early stage. So managing now you are finding difficult because see, that is the purpose of the CISM. See, first of all, the moment you start saying that it is very boring and it's very dry, it is dry because why it's dry? Because so this is not a technical certification that Java में type कर रहे enter मारा compile किया वो some result, because that's not the purpose of the certification, right? Nor it is this is a basically it is talks about various concepts of how now wherever organization you are working, think so you have to visualize. See, I didn't get your name, but you have to visualize in your company how information security is managed. Do you agree? You are a developer. You're trying to code and throw it to somewhere, the testers are testing, finally it goes to production. Do you agree? Do you agree what I'm saying? So you are a
Right,
developer,
right.
but you have to visualize, oh, my application manager, how is he managing? Finally this application is solving some problem, now whether you're a software company or you're a captive company. So I think you have to visualize little larger. Say, I think I use this term called visualization, because what you don't do, like example, if I'm not a developer, if someone is teaching me development is writing some code, compile, I have to only visualize it because I've never done it. So similar way for you, because you're not done what this governance, risk management, you have to visualize. And the best thing, wherever you're working, start asking questions. How my organization is managing information security? Is there a CISO in the, I don't know from which organization you come from. I can probably help you. Maybe reach out to me offline. I can help you to connect all the dots. And I think, see, until you don't visualize how your company is managing information security, and so you are basically doing one of the aspect of the broader your company what is doing, but that's what is the purpose of any certification. You have to learn with clean slate, and of course you have to understand. See, don't worry, it's not you. Even a person with 10 years of experience finds governance difficult, because governance is happening at a board level. Now tell me, how many people in this room has access to the board? But do you have access to board में क्या discussion होता है? No, right? So I think you have to only visualize.
Right.
Oh, so whatever you, and don't worry, it's not you. Like example, risk management. So you're learning. So risk management is like, for example, in your context, you're a developer. Now you have to do threat modeling. I know you would have never done it, but what is threat modeling? Your application is, who is target for your application? I'm sure you heard of threat modeling. Microsoft has got a threat model called stride model, right? Stride model is
Right.
nothing but how do you ensure. I think you have to visualize that and say that, oh, these are, I think you have to just, if you visualize saying that I'm an information security manager, and I think then your learning will be much better than you expecting some magic out of that. Oh, it's very dry, so I first of all remove from mind it's dry. It is theory. It is knowledge, basically. That's what anyway, that's what is CISM all about, or not CISM. Most of the C-level certifications, when I say C-level, even if it's CISSP or don't expect CISP will have some, what do you call, you enter some command, some output will come, or you're configuring router. No, even CISP doesn't talk of configuring router. It just talks about how do you manage as a security practitioner. CISM is also same. CISM is more aligned towards governance, risk, and compliance, whereas CISP and all are little. It goes little more details on technology. So don't worry, you are in the right path. And whenever you get bored, play some videos. Let me tell you, if you don't know what they're talking, just go to YouTube, play a video. There are excellent videos. They like. Or I normally talk about, okay, you don't know how governance happens in your company, go and talk to someone. You ask your questions. The policies coming from where, why the policies are there. I don't know if you're working with a little large enterprise. I'm sure on the day one they would have introduced you a lot of security policies, standards, frameworks. All that is coming because of the guys who have taken everything from the CISM, what is expected to manage information security. I hope I answered your point, but rest all, you have to visualize and you have to think positively and move in the right direction, because the objective of CISM is you are getting into the security management journey, which you're not there. I know it takes some time, after 3 years, 4 years, and everything what you study in CISM, you don't need to do it. Like you are a developer, you can manage the application security program, your DevSecOps. Today people are talking DevSecOps. To manage DevSecOps, I think CISM knowledge will also help you to get you the governance piece. I think that way you have to visualize, right? In every aspect, there's a governance, there's risk, there are controls. Do you agree? Every aspect, anywhere you go, there has to be some governance. In your case also, can developers write any code and throw it to the testers? No, there is a framework, right? You follow a framework in any large enterprise, so that's governance is what is all about, correct? So there is governance there also. Honestly speaking, I don't think you can write any code what you wish. You have to follow certain standards what your organization wants you to write code, and testers will test it. I think anyway, I'm trying to talk in your language, basically whatever you do, but visualize saying that whatever your governance, risk management, controls all are required for a large enterprise, and visualize that you are a security manager for your enterprise. Maybe talk to your own security manager, CISO office, some people, and then you'll get a more comfort. They'll talk exactly same what you are studying in CISO. I hope that helps you to get more clarity.
Yes, definitely, Satish. Thank you.
Hi Satish, this is Senthil here. So I unfortunately missed your session. So is there you have an recording session for the one which we have today?
So don't worry.
I have pinged on the group chat, the YouTube channel that will be uploaded over there. Yes, Satish, we're sorry, I interrupted.
Thanks, Santosh.
Yeah,
okay, thanks, Santosh.
Yeah, don't worry. I think as Santosh said, the recording will be given, but ideally, see, live is always live. And if you missed sometime, don't worry. Santosh will do once again, and you can join the next session. There's nothing called. But yeah, meanwhile, please connect with us, either Santosh or me, and we're happy to support you.
Yeah, and I have one more question, Satish or Santosh. So the syllabus for the CISM syllabus going to change in the month of June, right? So that before that we have an opportunity to take we can follow with the existing syllabus, right? So it be a more applicable, right?
So what is the question? That's what we have been talking since last 1 hour. Last 1 hour we've only spoken that only, and after now we've spoken that for the last 1 hour, and so yeah, what we said is correct. Please go ahead if you planning you already prepared planning exam before May. Please go and read 15th edition, and that's what we have been talking since last 1 hour. And 16th edition applies from June 1st. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, thanks, Satish.
Yeah. Okay, great. Looks like done. So Santosh, if you don't mind, 8:30 I have another call. So thank you all, and I'll jump to the other call. Okay. Take care and stay in touch. Feel free to ping, reach out. We'll be happy to support you always. So Santosh, I'm dropping off.
Yeah, thanks, Satish. Thank you for your valuable time. Satish also coaches for many people for CISA and other certifications. CISA series, please feel free to reach out to him. If it is CISM, probably like you can reach out to me. So any questions? Okay, if no questions, If no questions, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for being patient for all the 1.5 hours. It was really nice and interesting to talk to you all. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.